Welcome back to another episode of Vault. I am your host, Akaya, and I'm so excited to be here once again. I'm currently joined by young artist, producer. Tell me more about yourself.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. My name's Young. I'm a driving force behind the collective Y4E. We got quite cool producers on there. One of the main stars is JDE. That's one of the driving forces behind a lot of the production we got going on. But yeah, just artist, songwriter, producer, jack of a lot of trades, just anything that's really creative in that space.
hmm what got you into music?
Um, I think it was just a lot of driving factors.
hmm
So I had a lot of close people around me that just bleed in the DNA that are into music. Like shout out to my cousin, Black Diamonds, one of the founders at MD7, Birmingham side as well.
hmm
Went to school with a lot of successful musicians that you see out in the world today. That's
hmm
driving globally, and I think I was just always around a lot of global influences. Like if I was ever in New York or anywhere, that's just a lot of just driving influences around really.
hmm
Yeah.
you mentioned your collective. Can you talk to me more about who's involved, like what you guys do?
Yeah. So Y4E is something that I built quite a while back.
Yeah.
We kind of just stepped behind the scenes of a lot of stuff because we really want to just take our time on really being impactful with every move that we've done.
So you mentioned the collective that you're a part of. Do
Yeah,
you want to talk more about that? Like who's involved, like what you're about?
yeah. So we're just mainly in the formulation stages of going public. That's myself mainly and JDE, and we became a collective together. But now I got to the position where I've been building a lot of other talents around that kind of complement a lot of the visions that we really seen and embarked on from early. So with me mainly, I'm driving the artistry, but I also manage Jay. I managed him as a producer for a long time. I felt like both of us just really had a lot of things that aligned with each other. Where he's seen the light of me actually taking lead into a lot of the production that he might have been doing and seeing the direction that it can come from. But yeah, that's mainly where we be at as a collective currently. But we got a lot of cool people that we really look forward to introducing within the next month or two, maybe within the next years, 100%.
Are you allowed to say or?
We'll keep on the wraps, but definitely stay tuned still.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Cool.
we've been there, we've been present in the game, so they'll know who we're talking about when they're there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That sounds really cool. You mentioned stuff about maybe like sync before, I think, and like getting JDE to like his song was on Top Boy
Yeah,
or something like that.
the top
That's
boy.
that's really cool. First of all,
Yeah.
how do you like how did that really like come to be like working in sync and getting music on TV shows and stuff like that?
Well, I think when we first did that movement within the top boy, it
Mhm.
was kind of like it was me just seeing a vision and believing in it at the start, and then actually learning the full process through that first movement of really being involved on pushing someone into the sync world, because I've been in the industry, I've been moving and connecting a lot of dots, always been aware of how to package things. But when me and myself was just starting with Jay, there was still levels of professionalism we were still trying to cultivate within our team. So with the top boy syncing situation, that came about from when basically Jay, he was producing a beat, had a foundation of a sound. I was there managing him at the period of time, taking over and just hearing a lot of the stuff he was doing. And I know there was someone that was in his roster that I heard a lot of production from called Nickel. And so Jay told me that he's going to send something over to Nickel with a beat, and I thought it could be going in the right direction, because we always had that idea of cinematic production, just something that always takes the listener to like a different world. And we always could view, because Top Boy was about to be coming out at that time, we had Power, a load of different things that really just fitted what we really wanted to be behind. So sent over to Nickel, it came back, I'm thinking, yo, this is pretty crazy. I had like some connections in towards different management teams. Jay was always trying to send some stuff over. By that period of time, he was still selling beats like on YouTube, but he had ideas to sell stuff to the right artist. And I know that Nay Smalls was someone that we looked at as, okay, maybe these things can go towards their direction. So we had his manager T. We packaged everything up, put everything into an email to fly over towards their direction. I felt like a lot of the name pulling in different environments could bring the right attention. From there, they consumed the track. They've ate up, killed the track. Didn't hear nothing back for a moment. We were still just grinding onto the next movement. But after that, we got a hit up saying, yo, that it's gonna be on the next Top Boy. Then it got released into a domino effect to OVO Sounds. And then it just went on from there, really, just a lot of great things.
That's so cool. Yeah, I was listening to the track on my way here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys did your big one. Like, he's very talented producer.
Most definite, man. Most definitely. He's one of a kind, man. One of a kind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who are your influences?
So yeah, a lot of my influences came from like different genres such as like R&B, jazz, soul, a lot of rap pioneers, people that actually made it into my circumference of like where I was actually growing up, and people I got to meet as well. But like people like Showbiz, AG, Big L, Jay-Z, Nas, they were kind of the people I really grew up every day just studying like like magicians or something, you know what I'm saying? And at the same time, production wise and singers, it was like Anita Baker or Shirley Murdoch, Isley Brothers, Earth, Wind and Fire. Like them kind of sonics allow me to really know how to like transpire music into like the right people's soul with a lot of substance, if that makes sense. So yeah, the list goes on. Grew up on like bossa nova, like Stan Getz. Like we had a lot of rich music around us, so there were a lot of my like influences. But then I guess like, you know, when you grow up and then you start, you know, life becomes a lot more realer. You come across a lot of rappers, like even from people that are actually from the UK. You know what I mean? Especially like my cousins and like older rappers that were real like legends of my city, like Black Diamonds and Cypher, like MD7 and a lot more other heads. They became people that showed me a lot more local art that really just changed my perspective and was a lot more relatable to where I was standing within the UK. So yeah, there's a lot of people that I really soaked up game from, 100%. Yeah.
Nice. So as an artist, like, what's your songwriting process? How do you write your songs?
It's just different triggers. So there could be some, because I'm like into notations a lot and like melodies. I use a lot of melodies to like hold memories.
Yeah.
Due to my life, I never really had a lot of pictures to grow up on in the future. So a lot of music, I use sounds and soundscapes to really hold them kind of memories in my mind, and everything's kind of triggered feelings or emotions or understandings that really influence where I'll be thinking. Sometimes it could be just me sitting down and just writing down a few like main points of like where my head's at, or it could just generally be off the top of just me hearing a track and just going off the top of my head, and then like the melody just speaks the words, you know what I mean? So yeah, there's a lot of different processes that come forth, but I think the most comfort way that I'm at now is just me and JDE. When we both sitting down, if we both flip a laptop together, it's just straight into creation of melodies, and then as we're creating at the same time, my pen just starts going. You know what I mean?
Pure vibes.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Just gotta be natural, just authentic, you know what I mean? And I'll go.
That's so nice as well. Like, working with someone that you're so close with too. Like, it must be so easy working with him, like, and him making music with like you guys making music together.
Yeah.
It must be so easy and like flow so nicely because you guys are really close.
Yeah, natural, man. Like, that's a brother. Like, you know, you see me go for a lot of things and then go for a lot of things, you know what I mean? And me seeing how like music's something I've always carried to take me through every single story, you know what I mean? And it's another channel of expression more than, you know, sitting in front of a microphone and having to talk about your expression, you know what I mean? We find different ways in our areas to like, you know, really dive into what we really be going through, you know, different soundscapes. So that's bro, man. It's like natural, man. Yeah, 100.
How would you describe your sound?
Timeless. You know what I mean? Like Y3 stands for Young Forever, and that just ain't just a name or nothing like that. That's something that represents the stuff that I really grew up on and stand for, which is like musical substance, things that you can't take away from a phase of a trend. You know what I mean? You can't put a race or place or a face on it. It's just something that's got the freedom of identity that anyone could take in and either understand from our point of view of our shoes, or you know, place themselves completely in their own shoes and see the world through their perspective with the help of us taking them there with our music. So I'll definitely just say timeless. Yeah, man.
That's a really good way to describe your sound. Like most people when I ask that question, they're like, well, I would maybe say it's like a bit of R&B, like they'll do it like more genre specific,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
like how you kind of like just use this word to describe like the beauty of the music that you make, you know? I think that's so interesting. And music is beautiful. It's such a powerful thing.
Yeah, man.
Speaking of your music, any like recent projects, singles?
Yeah. So we got an upcoming single that should be coming out in the next few months. That's gonna be me and Jay's production there once again, called Everybody. Um, Everybody's kind of a cold tune. Um, it's fun. The way I wrote the song. But at the same point, when you're really taking the depth of it, you can kind of see how like it stands in a political way, just because of the kind of environment we're living in right now, where like I became a lot more quiet because I noticed that the world we live in has got a lot more opinions. You know what I mean? And everyone's always got opinions, and they got to a point where they override facts. And I feel like it's gave a lot of people advantage to throw whatever out in the air and change the perspectives on a lot of precious things. So the song Everybody's kind of like attacking them kind of mindsets by saying everybody knows this, they even know how I stand to, take a weed, even know how much I love my girl or whatever it might be. But at the end of the day, they don't actually know. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I feel like that song's something that can become a shield for a lot of people that want time for people to understand them. So yeah, that's the next single. I dropped a project recently that was like a nice warm up hip hop tape underground called Taper Distance. Taper Distance is within itself what it speaks. It's a tape that I made from the distance of the world, but seeing it in a more in depth way. And yeah, that's just something that everyone should definitely just go and check out. You feel me? But yeah,
Yeah, go check that out.
yeah. And then obviously not to definitely to mention as well, my producers on the projects and under the collective JDE. He's got his project coming out real soon as well. We've got a whole sinking project that I'm sure is gonna go many places that I really look forward to. We've got some cool concepts that we're definitely developing amongst that as well. So yeah, man, we just got a lot of real good things to look forward to.
That's exciting. So I hear a little bit of an accent.
Yeah,
Yeah. You're not
yeah.
from these parts. You're from where again, sorry?
Well, basically all over, but
All over.
yeah, West Midlands, like raised Warsaw, Birmingham living, born in South London.
Okay.
Um, just moved back to like West Midlands recently, actually over a few years ago. Was staying in around here Tottenham for a couple of years as well. So
What made you want to move back?
just the roots, foundation, um, the like it's the quietness. Obviously, my town's noisy in a different way. You get me, but like at the
Yes.
same time, like when you're in London, everything's pretty fast paced, and um, it's kind of harder to take things in with more depth. But when you're out the way, it gives you more time to have a bit more peace to a lot of things. My life being a real fast paced kind of thing, so I kind of need that.
Need a break. Yeah, I think that's so important as well. Like, even for myself at the moment, there's so much going on.
Yeah,
Keep having to remind myself, like, it's actually okay to just take a minute and
sure,
to just relax because it's so needed. Like, refocus, reset your mind, and then you can go into new things with like a completely fresh mindset. So,
100%. And I feel
yeah,
like that's what I needed even more with these projects coming forth, because um, I'm real cold with concepts. I feel like sometimes a lot of the team, so I can polish a lot of the end products to a way that I feel I had the right concept for the public to really like digest. So I think me having a fresh mind is something that's always needed as well. So I kind of just space myself out from a lot of things, and before I dive real deep into the crowds of things. So yeah.
so like, what's the music scene like from like in the West Midlands? Like, do people listen to the kind of music that you would say you make, or
Um, yeah,
like
I would.
genre wise, like what's going on up there? Because I have like no clue. Because I'm obviously from down in the south.
Yeah, man. Like we hella tapped in. Like especially my team. Like, I got producers down there, whole unit. That's Cody tapped in with some of the producers that are in our collective as well. I look forward to really showing into the game real soon. They be making noise throughout the whole of the streets there, truthfully. So you know what I mean? Like we got a whole type sound over there. A lot of things develop as well. We got our own sound there that's real strong. In my opinion, I feel like a lot of people got their own opinions about the city, but from my perspective, especially just coming back from London and coming with fresh ears over there, um, I feel like we got a lot of things that are really authentic that I feel like are yet to be a driving trend or like a driving force of influence within the UK. And just hopefully everyone puts ears to the city to see that.
Nice. So, what do you think is the difference between the London scene, like the music scene here, and the scene up there?
I don't know. I
Or are
don't
they
know.
similar? Like,
Yeah, I'll say there's a lot of similarities because it's still
right?
UK. Like, ain't like
Yeah.
one lives in Antarctica and no one's in
Yeah. True.
Nigeria. You
Yeah.
get me? But like,
Yeah.
at the same time, um, I think there's a bit more of a grittiness to our city, though. Do you know what I mean?
What do you
Because
mean by grittiness?
like, there's grittiness here in the sense of like we got a lot of there's of course like ends a lot of things that man don't want to represent from where they're coming from too. But I feel like in London there's a lot more flashing lights. You know what I mean? Your mind's a lot more open to opportunities or where you can see yourself in a better place. You know what I mean? You can walk down to Oxford Circus and you're seeing about 3 Rolls Royces for no reason on a casual
True.
day. You feel
Yeah.
me? But you going through Birmingham, it's probably a lot less likely to see that. You know what I mean? There's a lot less
Bling.
yeah, a lot less flashy lights to the
Yeah.
exterior world. You feel me? So a lot of
Yeah.
people, we just only got the choice to like look at ourselves or each other in it, and some of them environments might not reflect that as often. So the stuff that we do embrace through music or some things that we might reflect a bit more comes out a bit more gritty and raw. You know what I mean? Because of that exposure. Ain't like we're not aware, but there's just a feeling that comes from that really opens up your artistry. And I think that makes our city have its own beauty in its own different way though. You feel me? So yeah.
Nice. So, as a producer and an artist, how do you stay inspired?
My life.
Yeah.
Yeah, God don't chill, man. Like I say a lot of things. I see a lot of problems in the world. You know what I mean? I see a lot of things that I've experienced. Do you know what I mean? I know that a lot of other people from where I'm from won't be a stranger to. You know what I mean? And I feel like that drives me as a artist and someone that's independent, but has a lot of odds stacked against myself to be a voice for that. You know what I mean? So I just feel like when you're doing that for a culture or community, it's like it's impossible to not feel inspired. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just also a protection of the art. I feel like the game right now don't really inspire people to like be different. You know what I mean? Or people to like really embrace their own identity of what they want to really represent to be someone new. So I feel like when that's a driving force in the game and it takes a lot of substance out of what people really want to say or mean, I think that for someone like me that's really come from the art of stuff, like I don't just look at this as rap or I just made a beat today. This is something that's like part of a culture, like something that gives us a presence to hang on to. Do you know what I mean? When there's not a lot that's given to our community. So with that being said, I think bottom line that will always keep inspiring me.
Yeah. Music is like a journal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like it's one of the best outlets, one of the best ways to like share your emotions. And it's also so nice when you have music out and people relate to the things that you're talking about.
Yeah.
It drives like a sense of community and like feeling like you're not alone. So,
100%. Like
yeah.
I think even when I first met Jay, I think one thing that he really, you know, rated was the fact that the way I describe my career as an artist, and I feel like a lot of people in the game, like I look at my leg, like what I do is like a whole picture with all the music I put out. Every album I take time with, or any kind of music for what it represents, regardless of if it's taken in today or not. I see like a color, like a paintbrush that paints a little color on a canvas, and as I drop each song or album or single, it's gonna paint a story. And at the end of every single album, comes to the end of my life or the end of the career, whichever way it's gonna be.
Yeah.
But when you look back at that whole picture, that whole story, it paints a whole picture of everything I stood on, and I think that's what you call a legacy. But I think
Yeah.
some people just throw the paint on there and then walk away, or someone's just telling them to do that. You know what I
Yeah, they
mean?
just
So
dash it like
yeah, man,
yeah.
no caregiving, man. So
That's
yeah.
so like poetic. So your most recent project, what color would you say it would? What color would it be?
Um, I wouldn't say a color, but it is a color. You feel me? But
Yeah.
like, when I mean color, I just mean part of the story is
Yeah.
painting. So like, I think with that one, that's just generally um a raw report with no barriers,
Yeah.
and still containing what I got to give, because I got me and Jay, we got products over years that we can't wait to give. Like, we've got stuff that we've been building for time, not because we can't get it out, but just the fact that we know the time that is set for in schedule. So with the Table Distance, that project was made out of hunger, to be real with you. So I've been making projects and stuff, but I've been waiting for to do. I had some stuff going on politically in the public eye and stuff like that, which was like kind of not killing my creativity, made me a lot more creative, but stopped me from being creative and pushing work out for the forefront. And so I think when I made the last project, it was just going through a lot of stuff and just creating and then being like, yo, this package is something that's meant to go before all of this that we've been building all over the years, to just show how I deal with things with no structure, if that makes sense. So that's
Yeah.
kind of the best way I could put a color, you know what I'm saying, to that tape. But
If you had to say that, if you had to choose a color for yourself as a person, what color would represent you the best? And I'll tell you mine after.
color for me, it's mad, man. Car. Yeah, like, well, I don't say a color, then I go over to my people's place in the States and they don't like the colors I say.
Oh no.
Nah, I'm playing, but shit. I don't know. Like, I got favorite colors, but I ain't gonna say my favorite color. I'm probably just gonna say the color that probably represents me right now, fully. Not to be cliche, but just black. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
just feel like black's just
Simple, classy,
it's simple, it's
collected.
plastic, it's no limit, it stands its ground. But it can tell a million stories within that darkness. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
yeah,
I think my color is lilac.
lilac.
I love that color, not just because it's one of my favorites, but I think like that color represents to me peace, and because I love lavender.
All right,
I
all
love
right,
the
all
scent
right.
of lavender. So lilac
Yeah,
to me is like calmness, just relax, you know?
that's cold stuff.
Yeah.
That's cold. I hear that stuff. So yeah, you give me them relaxed vibes anyway. So
Oh, thank
understood.
you. And you
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, man. Try to be, man. Try to be. Definitely.
Um, so I read about ITV, BBC.
Yeah, yeah.
Talk to me about all of that.
Yeah, so with BBC and them, they took it's just my interview for one of my first singles that came through for one of them, which was Free Throws. So that was my first debut single. Got released by myself independently. Got a direct on my videos as well. Like, even to the last video it's about to drop in like a couple days, I directed a lot of the production behind all of that, trying to build my production company. So with that first song, Free Throws, he just took off, done his part, hit its right impact to the right people that I really wanted to show what I'm about. And from there, labels did hit me up about it, got itself signed and re-released for a deal that I felt was comfortable for me coming out in the game. And then yeah, just went on interviews on BBC, Soho Radio, West Side Radio, and then some other things that had its own domino effect, led to the interest of me and them just playing my music on some of them channels as well.
Yeah, that's really cool. Who would you say is a dream collaboration? Like someone, so they can be alive or dead, like a dream collaboration, like you can go batshit crazy, like Michael Jackson or like Deftones, even like.
See, yo, the list will go on. The Yeah, most of my people that inspire me, they be under the ground now or up in the sky for sure. You know what I mean? But a dream collaboration, I can't say it's the be all and end all, but I know people that like my vibe of music would resonate in that kind of sense, especially with the stuff yet to come. I would say like maybe like Nipsey. Um, is it driving someone? I'll be cold with Nipsey for sure. Um, Kendrick,
Yeah, I
someone,
love Kendrick.
you know what I mean?
Team Kendrick. Fuck Drake. Sorry, don't
Yeah.
cancel me.
You know what I mean? But like just on not even on that um internet stuff, but just on the his influence and his heart for the game.
Hmm.
I really understand that. You know what I mean? I'll probably say man,
So many, too many to like even put into words,
yeah, man. I
right?
wish I had like SWV and these people like SWV or like just anybody really. You know what I'm saying? SWV or Alicia Keys or just I would have to look at my playlist. You know what I mean? Of people that really drive stuff. Like you could even be to me just reviving like Brian McKnight or something one time and
Yeah.
saying, "Yo, let's kick off." Cause songwrite folks are like singers as well, and that's a career that I'm, taking forth as well within our production and publishing on that kind of side. So, um, a lot of artists in them kind of ways speak to me to how to collaborate. But yeah, man, no telling. I'll just be muffling and waffling over people, man.
You just went to the Mobos, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you tell me like about how it was for you, like how you got to go?
Yeah, man. It was pretty cool. Still, I got to go. That's just from just the right relation of people thinking I just deserve to,
Yeah,
definitely
go.
touch down. I never really like strive to go there every year but I used to work in a lot of different music facilities and there was Wisdom as well that was running some of the mobile song and for over the years, me and him have been tied closely. I used to do a lot of work over at Tire Yard, do a lot of like free work, not like within the company, but I just be lingering around, just locking in with every artist or producer and international producers to put my people in the right positions and just showing them what I'm about. And I think that just led to me having real great relationships. Even to stuff where like me songwriting for some people's first singles or like shout out to Zeta as well. Like I contributed to some of the songwriting for her. Um, Release come over and just different stuff like that. And I think from their relationships and just guiding a lot of people in the industry through my own just genuine steps, I think it just led me to just showing up, showing
Yeah,
face,
that's so
and
cool,
yeah, just
man.
reconnecting with a lot of people that I've been familiar with. So it was only right, but it was a nice experience.
He was like the most memorable person that you met?
A lot of people, memorable. I can't really say it's people that are mainly on the forefront, Like, shout out to like linking up with Poser. Like, Poser was cool.
You
Like,
met Poser?
yeah, I was with Poser.
I
He
love
was
Poser.
he was cool, man. Cause he had a good. He's got a good wave in the game, and I really like rate his wave, man. He cold. Manelia and that she from like a similar unit back a day. She was cold to see, like, and definitely her winner award and that rightly deserved. You know what I mean? Cause I went through phases where like I went through trying to go and get myself through uni. So a lot of our faces were all in the same accommodations at points and stuff like that. And then
Right.
seeing how we all grown up now, yeah, it's cold. Who else shouts to Bashi? You know what I mean? Like, like his tape project. Like, you know what I mean? 1,000 more hands need to start saluting that even more. You know what I mean? So like, even though I didn't get to meet him there and then, it was all in the we're still in the same space. Just seeing him win the award, and then after that, just taking in what he be doing. Yeah, man. Like, I think that was more memorable for me.
Nice. And I wanted to ask you about something else that I've completely spaced. Another brain fart. Um, oh, yes. So I wanted to ask you about any advice that you would have for the people that are listening who are interested in production and who are interested in being artists.
Um, yeah. Um, just don't fall victim to the speed of the game, innit? You know what I mean? That's the one thing I'll say. Do not fall victim to the speed of the game, and don't watch no one around you. Like, unless they're breeding good fruits within your like mindset, and even past that, just follow your own advice. A lot of people say they want to do a lot of things, but you can't measure how much they mean it. The one thing you're gonna be sure of is how much you mean to yourself about your own journey. So yeah, just don't be bothered about the speed of the game. Your light gonna come at the right time. You know what I mean? Like, most high is in power, man, not gatekeepers or whatever it be. So that's the best thing I can definitely say. Just be your authentic self, and if you're really trying to do something, don't treat this stuff like a fashion trend or something that's gonna like prove something to someone. Like, because if you went into running or like Olympics, you're not gonna say I'm gonna move my legs this fast so can like my kneecaps. You're gonna be running so you can cross that finish line number one. You
Yeah.
feel me? So like, treat this like a real art form, something that can change communities or whatever it's meant to be doing. Know what impact you can make from that hunger, and that's the best thing I could say. If you want to know more, just link me up.
Nice. I have one more question for you. And I just want to know, like, if you could describe your current career with a song title, what would it be?
Boy, that's a good question. A song title. Can you give me an example with you describing your day, and then I can go
My
from.
day.
Yeah, yeah. So if you had to describe your day with a song title.
Um. Oh, see, now I've been put on the spot.
Yeah.
See, now I know how. Now I know how you feel. Let
Yeah,
me
man.
think. I think maybe "Good Day" by Ego LMA.
Good
That's what I
day.
would say. Or like "Good Day" is Scissor, because today has been a really good day.
All right, all right. I hear that. I think going off the standpoint of two people that I think in this moment of me speaking about collaborations that or people that I like, I got love for in the game. I'll probably even say "Dedication" by Nipsey. I think that one probably speaks its volume today, for sure. Especially the journey coming down here. It was dedication, man.
Yeah, I bet. Thank you so much for coming all the
Appreciate it.
way down for our cute little podcast.
Yeah, man.
Thank you so much. And thank you to everyone for listening. Oh, wait, silly me. Do you want to plug yourself before I sign off?
Yeah, man. Just hit up the gram. Only one young with the number one. Don't need to spell it. __. Just watch out for Y4E, JD, J the engineer. Projects on the way. Everybody coming out in the next few months. But soon you won't need to search for me. I'll probably find you. So yeah.
Great. Thank you so much.